Rain.
Rain. Written and illustrated by Manya Stoyik.
I'm looking at the title page of this story right now, and I can already tell that this story is a fantasy. Why do you think this is a fantasy? Let's look, as we're reading, let's try to figure out why this story might be a fantasy story or a fiction story.
It was hot. Everything was hot and dry. The red soil was hot and dry and cracked.
Okay, instead of doing something at the end of this story, we're going to be doing the beginning, the middle, the end, like a first, next, then, and last throughout the story. So we're going to stop the story right here, and I want you to get your paper that looks like this. And it's told us at the very beginning of the story, the very first thing in the story was that it was hot and it was dry. So we're going to add that to our organizer right here where it says first, and we're going to write the words hot, and we're going to write the words dry. Now if you need to pause the video at this point to go get your paper or to get a pencil, you need to go ahead and do that. And then I need you to write hot and dry. Once you've done that, you can unpause the video and keep going.
A porcupine sniffed around. "It's time," she whispered. "The rain is coming. I can smell it. I must tell the zebras."
Alright, right here's where we figured out it's a fantasy story or a fiction story. It says the porcupine sniffed around. "It's time," she whispered. Well, a porcupine cannot really talk. So right there, that's our first clue that this is a fiction or a fantasy story.
Lightning flashed. "The rain is coming," said the zebras.
Ooh, I read it says there's lightning. The lightning flashed. Ooh, I see a drawing of it. There's the lightning.
Porcupine can smell it. We can see it. We must tell the baboons.
Alright, so the baboons are a type of monkey. Okay, so they have tails and they have hands like people do, hands like humans, but they live in the jungles. Okay, we know that the lightning has flashed. I wonder what's going to happen next with the weather.
Thunder boomed. "The rain is coming," cried the baboons. Porcupine can smell it. The zebras can see it. We can hear it. We must tell the rhino.
So when something booms, that means it makes a really loud noise.
A raindrop splashed. "The rain is here," said the rhino. Porcupine smelled it. The zebras saw it. The baboons heard it. And I felt it. I must tell the lion.
Alright, so we're going to go back to our organizer, and the next thing that happened in our story was it is raining. So we're going to add that. It is raining. You know, and I was thinking it might be easy for us to remember what our words say if we drew little pictures beside it. So where it says it's hot and dry, when I think about something being hot and dry, I think about the sun. So I'm just going to draw a sketch of the sun. And when it says it is raining, I think I'm going to draw a cloud, just a real quick sketch, and I'm going to draw raindrops coming down, just so I'll remember what I wrote. Pause the video if you need to, so you can finish your organizer.
The lion spoke in a deep purr. Yes, the rain is here. I can smell it. I can see it. I can hear it. I can feel it. And, he sighed, I can taste it. It rained, and it rained, and it rained. It rained until every river gushed and gurgled. It rained until every water hole was full.
I read before that the rain was just starting. Now I'm reading that it rained, and it rained, and it rained. I can kind of picture in my mind a very strong rainstorm. You can see the puddles filling up and rain is everywhere. This helps me to understand how the weather changed in the story.
Then the rain stopped, and everywhere long, feathery grasses grew from the soil. Every tree began to sprout fresh, green leaves.
Alright, I'm going to add this to my organizer now. First it was hot and dry, then it was raining, next it was raining, then grass grew. So I can draw grass growing. I also said that the trees sprouted leaves. I could even draw a tree if I wanted to, sprouting leaves, so I can remember what it said.
I can't taste the rain now, purred the lion, but I can enjoy the shade of these big green leaves. I can't feel the rain now, said the rhino, but I can lie in the cool, soft, squelchy mud.
I read that the rhino is in the mud. The text says the mud is cool and soft. I make a picture in my mind of the rhino splashing in the cool mud. I know that it used to be hot. This helps me to understand that the rain made the rhino happy.
We can't hear the rain now, shouted the baboons. But we can eat fresh, juicy fruit from the trees.
Oh, I think the baboons... What did the baboons do after the rain stops? They decided to eat fruit from the trees.
We can't see the rain now, said the zebras. But we can have a refreshing drink from the water hole.
I think the rain has made all the animals happy in different ways. The hippo or the rhino liked it because he could be in the mud, and the baboon liked it because they could eat fruit. The zebras like it because they can drink water. The lion liked it because it could hide in the shade.
I can't smell the rain now, whispered the porcupine. But I know that it will come back again when it's time. The sun shone over the plain. It was hot. Everything was drying out. The red soil was hot and dry. A tiny crack appeared.
Alright, so now we need to go back to our graphic organizer because we're at the end of our story, and we need to fill in the very last thing that says last. So what happened last? It was dry and hot. Again, make sure you pause the video to add the last thing to your graphic organizer, if you want to draw the sun again, so that you'll remember that it was hot and dry again, you can. Make sure your graphic organizer is filled in. Make sure you've put your name on it. And make sure somebody sees it before you put it in your cubby.